This is your before and after story. Southeastern College can help you prepare for a secure and fulfilling career in the growing healthcare field. We offer a wide range of careers to choose from, so whether you want to be a medical assistant, medical billing and coding specialist, nurse, surgical technologist, or another healthcare career, we've got you covered. Become a vital part of a healthcare team and make a real difference. Southeastern College, your future is bright. Visit sec.edu to get started.
Hi everybody, Sharyl Attkisson here. Welcome to another edition of Full Measure After Hours. Today I report from El Salvador on how the most popular president in the world, when measured by domestic approval, got a grip on crime in the murder capital of the world and what we might learn from it. For about a decade on my TV program Full Measure, I've been covering the global populist movement marked by the election of leaders who are disdained by the political establishment on both the left and the right. Nowhere, perhaps, has this movement had a more dramatic impact than in the small Central American nation of El Salvador with the election of President Nayib Bukele, then the youngest elected president in the Western Hemisphere. Bukele has led his country through a really stunning transformation under his popular tough-on-crime policies, and other nations are definitely taking note. As it happened, shortly after I returned from El Salvador, investigating their tough-on-crime approach and the results, President Trump did something that felt very similar when he took control of Washington, D.C. and put National Guard troops on the street. And like the example of Washington, El Salvador also saw dramatic results, as you will hear. This is my cover story on Full Measure as we debut our Season 11, Sunday, September 7th, as I report from El Salvador. And in today's podcast, you're going to hear my interview with El Salvador's defense minister, the head of the military, Rene Moreno-Monroy. First, a little bit of important background. El Salvador historically has been plagued by civil war, followed by brutal gang control by MS-13 and other gangs for decades. In 2019, Salvadorans took the step to reclaim their country by electing 37-year-old Nayib Bukele as president. He took the lead in a movement that arrested 87,000 suspected gang members and other criminals. Now, this is a country about the size of Massachusetts, arresting 87,000 people. And as part of this, soldiers deployed alongside police, and still they patrol together like that today. You're going to see that in my report on Sunday. What difference has it made? Well, in 2015, before all of this, El Salvador, this tiny country, recorded 6,656 homicides, earning the title of murder capital of the world. But after this effort and the mass arrests, those numbers plummeted. 7 months into this year, instead of 6,600 murders, there had been about 40. The homicide rate dropped from more than 106 per 100,000 people. That's how they track them, basically per 100,000. So more than 106 per 100,000 to now below 1 per 100,000 projected for 2025. They have gone from being the most dangerous country in the world by some measures to the safest country in the entire Western Hemisphere. So now you know why I was so interested in visiting and seeing for myself what the results truly are. And as part of that effort, I sat down with Defense Minister Moreno-Monroy.
You said you're 62 years old. You've been in the military your whole career.
Yes.
How would you describe the changes you've seen in El Salvador since there's been this big crackdown on the gangs?
There have been a huge change because in the past 10 years ago or 20 years ago, here is it was like a big prison or a hell because the gang members, they did what they wanted to do here in El Salvador. So the people were not able to move freely, to live in peace. Since Mr. President took over El Salvador, everything was changing. And right now, you can live here in El Salvador like any other common country. I think better than in another countries because we are enjoying the peace that in other countries they wanted to have this peace. So everything have been changing because the people are right now happy and they want to live in this like we are living right now.
Before, as a young person, or say you have a family before all of this, can you give an example of what life was like? Could you go to the neighborhood grocery store and shop, or market? Like, what was it like then?
No, it was impossible to do that in the past. For example, if, here we have some communities surrounding this area, and there are some places that the MS-13 they took the control of this area, and in front of this area there are the Barrio 18 gangs members. So for people were impossible to move from one place to another place because the gang members were fighting each other. So if you want to go to the school, for example, it was impossible. So the teacher they were not able to teach the student because the gang member they said what they wanted to have it in this area. So for the young people, it was impossible to go to the party at night.
Did you feel that growing up here?
Right now is
When you were
I
young?
know when I for me it was very difficult because when I was a young guy I was born in 1963 and we had in 1969 a war with Honduras. So I was 6 years old. So then we started with our internal war. So as a young man, it was for me impossible to live freely here because I had to decide if I had to decide to go with the guerrillas, with the bad guys, or with the army. So I decided for for the right side.
Is that a choice most young men had to make?
Yeah. So, I was living during my how do you say juventud? When I was young guy.
Like adolescent teens or
Yeah,
adolescent?
like a teenager. So I was in the army, and then when we finished the war, we started with the guns problems. So for example, for the guys who were born during the guns, they have not enjoyed the freedom or the freedom of the life. So right now it's totally different. That is in my perspective or in my opinion, the Jones guy right now, they are lucky guys because they can enjoy El Salvador. This is a beautiful country. Right now they can enjoy it.
Would you say that you have MS-13 under control or eradicated?
Yeah. This is the serious state to eradicate the guns members. So we have been successful right now because they don't have any more the control of the country. There are some guys only free right now, but we are looking for those guys because we know that they will continue being a guns member. They never will resign to this guns organization. So this is the main objective, to eradicate those guys.
Do you think there are lessons that other countries can learn from El Salvador's approach? And have you heard from other countries?
Yes, there are many countries who want to give to have our example to know how we did everything. So every country has its own problems. But we, for example, in our region in Central America, we have similar problems. But every government is different. So what is the experience here or the example here is that if you want, you can do it. that is, if you want, you can do it. Because here it was impossible. Everybody said that, even the international organization said that in El Salvador, it's impossible to defeat the bad guys. So um, the population were sad because they, they, they said, of course, it's impossible. But Mr. President said, no, we can do it because we have the will to defeat them. And that is the key issue here. Because if you have a good leader, a good political leader, you can do everything. Because our country is a small country, we don't have many resources. However, we have the will. Mr. President have the will, and we right now are the example for other countries. For Ecuador, for example, for Dominican Republic, Argentina also, even some Mexicans. They say we want to have a president like Mr. Bukele here because they understand, the people in other countries understand that if you want to do, you can do it.
Why does every recipe I try need 18 ingredients, including a jar of something paste I'll never use again, but will sit in my fridge for 9 months? I just want dinner in the oven, fast. That's why I love Blue Apron's new one-pan assemble and bake meals. They send you fresh ingredients that are already chopped. All you do is put it all together and bake. That's it. No chopping, no weird leftovers, just delicious, easy-to-make meals. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
There seems to be broad agreement that things are radically safer.
Say it again?
There seems to be broad agreement. Everybody agrees things are radically safer.
Yes.
However, there are criticisms.
Yeah.
So some people say human rights have been violated. Some people say there are some people in prison who don't belong and they're not getting proper hearings. Maybe the hearing time is extended too long. Mm-hmm. Is that happening, and is that a trade-off that you're accepting?
No, talking about the human right. So you can see here in the area how the people like the militaries or like the police. Why? If we were violators of the human right, the people will hate us. So it's totally the contrary. What happened with those critics? There are some people who has had in the past benefit from the gangs member. So that's why they don't like to have this environment right now. So, and they say that we are violating the human right, but it's totally false. You can ask a normal people here about that, and they say, no, we need a regime. We want to continue in doing this in this way, because they feel well right now, and the issue here was that in the past the NGOs or some bad people here, they protect the bad guys. They protect the human right of the bad guy, but not the right people. So right now have been totally different. So, and even that we don't violate the human right of the bad guy, but there are many laws here that the law determine how many rights have the bad guys, and we respect that right. So for me and for the most of the people, we are doing the right thing. We respect the law. That was one of the requirement of Mr. President when we started this mission. So we respect all the guy who are in prison. So Mr. President explained to the population how works the judiciary system here. And he said, for example, if the police capture you, the police capture you because they think you make a mistake or make a crime. So, but you have to go to the court in order to prove that you are innocent or guilty. So during this time, you have to be in jail. So and then the judiciary system will determine if you are guilty or
That was one of the criticisms we heard. This is the second one I'll ask. Some people in jail say they haven't been told what they're charged with, and it's taking too long, maybe years. They don't understand.
oh, because our problem is very particular. It's not like a normal problem that you have in other countries. Because here we have can you imagine? We have in jail 87, more than 87,000 guys. But they made many crimes. So how much time you need for solve that problem? So in the past, one of the success of the regime was that in the past, we as authority, we have just 72 hours for present
The charges.
the charges. So, and there are many guys. So it was impossible.
You don't have the infrastructure to do that
Also,
with
or
87,000.
the corruption of the judiciary system. So it was impossible because we captured the guy 72 hours. They were free again, and they continuing making crimes. So it was necessary to do a amendment of our law in order to have the necessary time to present the charge of those guys. So it's not because we want to violate anything, but everything is legal because we were to the
Congress?
the Congress request of the change, and it was approved.
What do you think it says, or what comment does it make that the United States sent some prisoners here? That shows some kind of good relationship between America and El Salvador, I suppose. But it also shows a trust on the part of President Trump and your president. What are your thoughts about that?
Because I think Mr. President had done a very good job in talking about the security. We have I think the best prison around the world because it's very safe and very clean. It's impossible for a bad guy to live there. So I think Mr. President Trump he decided to talk with the President Bukele because you have a Salvadorian gangs member there, and in this way we are talking about transnational crime or transnational terrorism. So we are working together. Yeah, and that's why maybe he decided to send the bad guys to this prison.
And how many murders you've had in the past year or months?
So we have in the past 48, 50 homicide daily.
A day.
Yeah, and in a year we have 4,000 homicide in a year, and the ratio for every 100,000 inhabitants, it was 58, for example. In 2019, it was 37, and the last year we got 1.9, and right now we are I think will be almost the half. Right now we have less homicide in comparison with the last year in the same period. We have 41 homicide in 6 months, and in this month we have just 1 homicide. So with that, the people is free here. You can see the children playing freely. That it was impossible in the past. And we are competing around the world, trying to be the safest country around the world. We are right now the safest country in the Western Hemisphere. With the radio that we have right now, we will finish this year very, very good. Yeah.
Thank you. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, just that we are happy with Mr. President as a citizen, as a normal citizen, because he has the courage of face this problem. And when I met him for the first time, he asked me if I were decide to fight seriously the gas member, and I said yes, and he said good. And I have been supporting him in every single decision that he made, no matter if the decisions are hard or difficult. But I think that our country needs a politician like him.
What I think is very interesting, you will typically hear, if you hear anything in the media reporting on all of this or on El Salvador or the president, it will typically be negative. The media tends to treat Bukele much the same way the media treats President Trump and other populist leaders around the world. It's hard to get a balanced view, let alone hear anything potentially positive about what they're doing. But rest assured, the people in El Salvador love Bukele and support what he's doing. After 6 years in office, President Bukele enjoys approval ratings above 90%, which gives him the highest domestic approval of any head of state in the world. And just about a month ago, El Salvador's legislature lifted the constitutional ban on the president there serving consecutive terms, which will allow Bukele to run again in 2027 when he will only be 45 years old. To see this story and also hear from critics, yes, there are critics who are against what the president is doing, even as they acknowledge the good results in terms of safety and crime. You'll hear from them. This is all going to be Sunday, September 7th on Full Measure. To find out how to watch on a station near you, you can go to SharylAttkisson.com and click the Full Measure tab for a list of stations and times. If that's not convenient, there are a couple of other ways you can watch. Around 11 o'clock on Sundays, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, you can go to fullmeasure.news and watch the TV program there, and also watch replays later of that program or any other one of our broadcasts by going to our YouTube channel. So go to YouTube and search for Full Measure with Sharyl Attkisson. I'm really proud and delighted and honored that we are coming back for season 11 of Full Measure, having finished season 10 with our biggest audience ever. Well, you keep hearing about maybe other news organizations and TV programs declining in viewership, maybe getting canceled, having trouble staying afloat or attracting enough attention. The opposite is going on at Full Measure. Our viewership is stronger than ever and continues to grow, and we hope to continue to expand it on this season 11. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and that if you did, you'll leave us a great review. Consider sharing it with your friends and subscribing. Consider checking out my latest book, Follow the Science, How Big Pharma Misleads, Obscures, and Prevails. And as always, go to the Sharyl Attkisson store by visiting SharylAttkisson.com and clicking the store tab for some fun products designed just for people like you. Proceeds from the store as well as from the book go to independent reporting causes. And if you do decide to check out the store, you will find some intriguing slogans that I'm sure you'll appreciate, such as, I need to find some new conspiracy theories. All my old ones came true. And do your own research, make up your own mind, think for yourself.